You know, I, like so many of us, have been holed up in my house for the most part the last couple of weeks. I do have a day job that is still functioning, but I've been in my house a lot, and I've been kind of considering what the future for this vlog holds. At least the immediate future throughout this and what I can do. And today I've decided to do something interesting. I decided to get out of the house and film an outdoor vlog where I actually go, well, semi-outdoors, I'll tell you what I mean. I'm gonna drive around town and film some more historic sites. You may remember a few months ago, I did a video called We Call It Haney, which is I believe it's my most viewed vlog now. Got a lot of love, and I thank everybody for watching that one. And I've been asked by many people, when am I going to do a sequel, when I'm going to show even more locations. I didn't even get to all of the ones that I wanted to in my last video, and I thought, why not do that? Now, I know, before you leave a comment saying, what are you doing? You're gonna go out and film historic sites in the middle of a quarantine? Well, I have an interesting strategy for today. I'm going to try to give you guys sort of a drive-through history tour. I'm gonna try to film as many locations as possible from inside my car. I'm gonna film out the window. And I may leave my car only if there is absolutely nobody around, but I am going to do this 100% physically distanced. I will never be even close to within 2 meters of any other person while filming this video. And yeah, just thought I'd sorry, a wasp landed on me for a second. Thought I'd get out of the house a little bit and try to appreciate this nice day somehow. Well, this first shot is a bit of a bust. I should have probably come here when it was a little darker, but there is an antique Maple Ridge Fire Department fire truck here at the #1 fire hall. Looks to be from about the 1940s, but I couldn't tell you to be the exact date, and I am just so sorry I couldn't give you a better shot of it. There's so much glare through that glass there. As you can tell, absolutely nobody around me. Still distancing. Sorry I couldn't give you a better shot of that fire truck, but there's some more even cooler places that I'm gonna be visiting. Don't you worry. And while I'm over here by the fire hall, I just want to say an enormous thank you to all of the emergency responders and healthcare workers, you know, grocery store employees, everybody who has been deemed an essential service, and is working through this. But yeah, especially the emergency responders and the healthcare workers for working during this dangerous and difficult time. All right, the first stop on our drive-through history tour is this Europe Bakery and Deli, aka Vape Street. But Graham, what could be so historic about a vape street? This building here, I don't know the exact history of it, but I know it used to be the Maple Ridge Post Office, at least back in like the 40s and 50s, if not even longer ago than that. It's been repurposed several times over the years, but the building still looks very similar to how it would have looked back in the day. 224th here has always been a hub of activity. Yes, I did jump into my own passenger seat to get this shot. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that this building still stands. And even the Vape Street and the bakery here have both found ways to keep open even through the COVID crisis. There's signs all over the doors saying to maintain 2 meters there. Alright, next up I just want to talk about this block right here, because this block still looks very similar to how it used to way, way, way back in the day. The Fuller Watson store there, if you'll believe it, has been there just about as long as this highway has been here. And it was built in the 1930s. It has always been a Fuller Watson. It has always had that iconic triangular roof. I recently found an incredible picture of this building taken during World War II with the old school air raid siren on top of it. This building has seen a lot of different times, but has only seen the one name. Like I said, it's always been the Fuller Watson throughout the years, and it's gone through a lot of different looks. Still an operating home furnishings store. And if you look to the right of it, someone recently posted on the We Call It Haney Facebook page a postcard taken in 1960 of this block, and you'll notice that this building right here with the 8 windows there still looks very similar to how it did when that picture was taken. So I figure this building here has been there since at least the 1950s, and then of course the Fuller Watson next to it since the 1930s. You also get a different shot, a cool shot of the side of the post office. This is all in that central hub of activity around 224th Street here in Maple Ridge. Alright, I've driven a couple of blocks down the road to this incredible trio of historic buildings. First of all, the St. Andrew's Heritage Church Hall. This church was built in 1888 according to this sign. Meaning it's been here for 132 years, unless it's been moved at some point. Not sure about that. One thing about this church, old 19th century churches are not typically built out of bricks, but if you'll remember from the last video I did, the last Maple Ridge history video, I went to the Thomas Haney house and talked about his life a little bit. Thomas Haney was an early businessman here in town. He owned a lot of land, and he got his fortune from a brick building enterprise. And one really cool historic thing about this church that I actually didn't realize until I was researching for this vlog today, this church was built in the 1880s out of original Haney Company bricks, which is very interesting, and it was built actually on his land. We're only about 3 or 4 blocks from the Haney house right now, so that makes sense. That is very cool. Built on Haney land with Haney bricks. Then, in, I believe, 1909, this blue building next to it was built for, I believe, the priest of the church to live in, and it still stands there. I can't film it too much. It is a private residence. I gotta be careful about privacy there. And then in the 1930s, this Masonic temple was built. Now, the Masonic temple was not built here. It was actually moved here in 1980. There's an incredible picture of this rather large structure being driven down the highway on a truck. And just so huge. Oh, wow, wow, wow. You know what I'm just seeing here? See how far I can zoom in on there. There's a little placard there that says, laid by the Grand Lodge of British Columbia. What does it say? AF and AM, February 23rd, 1931 AD. Boy, am I glad I saw that. That is really cool. So yeah, that would have been part of this building since before it was moved, since when it was originally built in 1931. So yep, just off of the Haney bypass, off of Callahan, is this trio of wonderful historic Maple Ridge buildings. Lots of historic buildings here in the Haney bypass area, some of which I've featured on this vlog before. And then down 1 block further, you get a cool view of the opposite end of these structures. The Masonic Hall, it's 89 years old. This blue building that is just over 110 years old, and the 132-year-old church in the middle. Just a very cool block right here. Well, this is sad. In my last history video, I didn't get around to filming Sampo Hall, which is here on Dewdney Trunk Road, just west of 256. And it looks like I have missed my boat to film it. I did not realize that they had demolished the building. It was an old community hall built for the local Polish population in approximately 1915, and they had slowly added on more and more to it over the years. There had also been structures behind it that had been demolished, like a stage and whatnot, but the majority of the building was still there, albeit kind of hidden by some woods and in a severe state of disrepair. It had been abandoned and also, I believe, condemned for a number of years. So I fully understand why they demolished it. It was likely not possible for them to ever get it back into any sort of working order again. But I missed the news on that one. Apparently it was demolished back in November, so I've actually missed my boat by, about 6 months. Whoops. I didn't even plan to film this building today, but while I was out in this part of town, I drove by the United Church. Didn't realize it was built in 1912. I know in most cities, it seems the oldest and most historically significant buildings in town are the churches. And Maple Ridge is certainly no different for that, as this one's been here about 108 years. And such a sweet message on the sign. Our doors stay closed, our hearts stay open. Right, and I'm gonna end this Maple Ridge history vlog by showing you guys one of the most interesting residences here in Maple Ridge. One of the residences that most shows the scope of the expansion of this city over the years. That is what is most commonly referred to as the Hill House. This house, you'll notice, it's in quite a different architectural style from everything else that goes on around it. It was built in 1912 on a farmland acreage that once existed on this site. You can see in pictures how it used to look overlooking the large farmland that it once sat on, which is now fully zoned out. A lot of residential, some business as well, but it's just one of the houses, just another house on the block now. And if you're wondering how it managed to so perfectly align with the rest of the city block here, even though the rest of it was built after it, I wondered that myself. But it turns out all of this development has mostly been done in the last 20 years. And when they were starting all this development in 2001, they didn't want to demolish the Hill House. It was in the way of their plans. So what they did was they actually picked it up, much like the Masonic Hall I talked about earlier. They didn't move it very far. They just turned it and moved it slightly to fit the alignment of the new zoning, and plopped it right back down. So it's still relatively on the same land that it once sat, although it has been moved somewhat. The Hill House is actually not the only cool historic thing in view of me right now. To the left of me here is the old Muth, I don't know how to pronounce that, Muth and Sons machine shop, which has actually been sitting there since 1945. It closed permanently a few years ago, but check out that cool mural of how the exterior of this stop used to look. Used to be a very popular mechanic shop just off of Low Heat Highway here. And they gave a nod to this residence when they did design the street layout for this area, as they named this intersecting street Hill Avenue, named after the Hill family and their famous Maple Ridge residence right there. Yeah, so this is a cool place as any to end the vlog. I hope you enjoyed this video. Kind of a different way of presenting the history of Maple Ridge to you people. I think I'm going to do a couple more videos like this in other surrounding communities. I'll definitely drive around Pitt Meadows. And there's a couple of cool things on Harris Road. I'll do that vlog in the next couple of weeks. except for the shot of the fire hall, I was able to do it all within my car, and I just never went near any other people at all. I considered this a great success. I wasn't sure how this vlog would turn out, but I was able to get some great shots. And thank you so much for watching. I'll have some more historical content coming at you real soon. Thank you.